We don't know at this point.
So let's say there were 100 drugstores or 100 car washes, and then all of a sudden the rules changed on how much money people will want to spend in car washes. The market would take care of that, and if there's a problem, then it's not going to happen all at once, and we'll clearly be able to react. But what I want to make sure that I understand, because this issue keeps coming up over and over and over again, about what is a soft cap. So I'm going to use an analogy, and Elizabeth, you tell me if I got this right. In my house, my mother used to say, you can go in the refrigerator whenever you want. And I would just go in the refrigerator all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time. And then she said to me, Charlie, after meals, I want you to make a case for going in the refrigerator. And as long as I can make the case why I can go back in the refrigerator, then I could get more food out of there. Isn't that what we're talking about? Isn't this a typical standard element that workers that work for all the companies in Arkansas go through for health care routinely, that they get prior authorization for certain things? I mean, isn't this a proven method that works for millions of Arkansans that we're just applying in this instance to make sure that if somebody has a need, they will be taken care of. They will not be turned away, and the cap will adjust accordingly. That's what the plan does, correct?
That's correct. And I can speak to specifically an appeal that came through Beacon where a patient had requested extension of benefits or had requested authorization for particular units. The patient had been receiving the same therapy for the past long period of time. I mean, years or a couple of years, I think. I'm not exactly sure, but it had been a good period of time. And there was a change by, in the authorization. They said, well, we're not going to authorize this now. But there was no indication as to why they did not want to authorize that any longer. And so that authorization was denied. That the denial of the additional units was overturned by the hearing officer because they said there's been no justification as to why you would stop this. And so currently they're proving medical necessity, and they're currently going through this process. And so we run the risk every day of the providers closing their doors. If a provider wants to choose to close the doors, they would do that. And I believe that they are saying this as a scare tactic.
Sure.
When you look at our population, we have 10,000 people, there's only about 465. The provider who said they were going to close their door, they have 48 people.
You're right. What we have here, though, and again, you've done a good job answering the question, but again, when you're dealing with this particular class, this group, that's where my concern is what happens with those people. And what
Okay,
I have,
we're on the list, sir, so
when I've been here, actually, there was some things brought up, Mr. Chairman, that I'm just closing up on. Charlie's had the floor while you were gone. In terms of this particular population, I just am hearing that with the changes that were coming next year, that there was built in, they knew there was going to be a change to handle this. I just want to make sure that we're not creating a short-term crisis. That's what I was asking.
I agree with you. I do not want to create a short-term crisis, and I do not believe that that's what's happening. Thank you.
Senator Cooper.